And hello there, Dental Nacho Nation. Terry Brock here for another talk about tech tips with Terry. Tuesday at 2. It's 2 o'clock here in the Eastern Time Zone. And wherever you are, hope you're doing well today. Got an exciting program that I am so looking forward to sharing with you today because it's going to be something that, well, they don't teach at dental school, nor really should they, but it's something that's very important now. And that is when you're creating content. How do you do it? How do you come up with really good content that you can share with people? Well, there's some systems you can follow that can help you and your team to put them together. We're doing that here at Dental Nachos with the assistance of Dr. Nacho himself, Paul Goodman. And by the way, he is on social media. I think he's put himself into social media jail this week so that he's not reaching out there, at least not a whole lot. And we need to give him a break every now and then. So we're going to talk about this, but he's using a lot of these same ideas and the concepts. And today, what I want to do is go through and share with you some of these areas that can help you a lot when you're putting together. I do a lot of content creation myself. Hey, I'm a speaker. I am a writer, and so I do this. And I found that by having a system, it tends to help a lot. I saw a quote I wanted to share with you that I found the other day really good. It's one that is pretty profound. Matter of fact, I'm going to make it a little bit larger here. Systemize the predictable so you can humanize the exceptional. Wow. Isn't that powerful? That's from the training manual, The Four Seasons Hotel. Systemize the predictable so you can humanize the exceptional. And I think that is a real good way to think about, well, anything that has to do with life. Everything that is a system needs those important features. Dr. Paul talks about that a lot when he talks about having systems, and everything that's important should have a system, and everything's important. And so you want systems for all of that. And if you can systemize, I don't know which one it is, but it's do that. Make sure that you got systems in place for it. If it's predictable, you know what it's going to be like. And in content creation, you need to come up with ideas. You need to come up with ideas. Okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And I've got something I want to make available to you here. You can write this down. I'm going to be going through this today. It's something we just put together. Matter of fact, as of today, here it is. I'll make this a little bit larger for you. On create compelling quality content quickly. And you can get the whole guide that I'm going to go through today. You'll see this plus 3 distinct video training guides that you can use on this. And you go over to http://bit.ly, Terry Brock _5K. I'm calling it my 5K program. Get it? 5K, create compelling quality content quickly. Okay, work with me on this. But it's a fun thing there, and you'll see it like that. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller and put it up there, and then go over this so that you can see what's going on with it and how we can use it. And I'll go over to that and share my screen with you here on what we've got on this handout. This is the handout that you'll be able to get when you go over there to that. It's got several pages here, about 12 pages worth of notes. I'm going to hit on some of the major ones for you today. One of the most important things here is when you work with it, you want to make sure that you block in time for content creation. And that's all the components. I have found that to be really helpful. Too often I would sit back and think, well, I'll just do it whenever, and I'll get out of time whenever and do it. Well, guess what? Never comes along. Whenever. Yeah, whenever doesn't just pop in there. It's one of those things you want to make time for it, and you want to make sure that when you realize, okay, this is something that has to be done, that you make time. When you commit time to it, then it's more likely that it's going to take place. And so what you'll want to do is to make sure you have that, and then work on refining your process as well. So that when you work with it, here what we'll always do, you can always be refining your process and the workflow. Keep checking on that, how to make it better and how you're going to work with it. Now, another thing that's going to be real handy, here's what I like particularly, is where you can get fed. Where are you going to come up with these ideas? Well, books are a real good way to do that. We find the book, here, let me make this a little bit larger for you so you can see it. Books are a real good way for you to get ideas, to get information. I find it incredibly wonderful that when you're reading good books, you can come up with ideas that are on a different or a tangential note. You go, hey, that's a pretty good idea. And so you want to grab those ideas. I find particularly a lot of books that are more than 100 years old are particularly good. They've been around for a long time. They're still called classics. Those are some books that you want to read particularly. I have found a lot of inspiration coming from reading from the Stoics, people like Marcus Aurelius, the former emperor of Rome, listening to Seneca and from Rome and what he did, Epictetus, who was a slave. Epictetus was a slave, broke free of that and began instruction, etc. They have a lot of ideas that people through the centuries have carried their books with them. And when George Washington would go into battle, he'd carry the works of these people. When we saw Napoleon, he would actually carry the Stoic literature with him when he would go out in his work. And we find that many people found that to be particularly helpful. Reading those kind of books can be real good for creating content and coming up with ideas. And then here's what you want to do. One of the things that will be real important is when you get an idea. I've talked about this before. Earl Nightingale talked about it, that you need to stab that idea, is what he said. And what he meant by that was to have a pen and paper. Here, I got this right here. Get your notepad together. We journalists like to have that. Have a good pen and write it down. I think that's a good idea. And you think, oh, well, I'll remember it. No, our brains will tell us that, but we don't always remember. And I would even take that into the 21st century and say, when you get that idea, yeah, writing it down is good, but record it down. Record it down. Put it in there. Use some voicemail, and you can dictate. Because think about it. You can talk faster than you can type, faster than you can write. And so by recording it and have the systems in place, when you get these ideas for content, put that in there. One of the things that we have found a lot of offices are doing, professionals for both dentists as well as others, is they have a regular time each week when they're sending out content. One of the things you can do that work out really well, like we're doing right now, is live. We're using live streaming to go out to you. I'm using Restream from Restream.io, and it's a great little tool for getting information to others. And one of the things I love about it, there's a lot of things I like about it. But one is that you can go out to multiple destinations. You can go up to 30 destinations at the same time. And that is amazing, being able to get that information out there. This is a great way to work with content and to get a lot of information done and be able to put things together that way. Now, here's some other things that are going to be helpful as when you're working through this. Is on the handout that you'll be able to get. You just go over to that bit.ly that I gave you before. Looking at blogs, following the same ideas and reasoning with podcasts. You can use podcasts that you're getting information out there. A blog is good because when you think about it, people can read faster than they can listen or watch. Think about a 30-minute program that's live. Well, it's going to take time, 30 minutes. If you can watch it faster, you can get through it faster. But reading, you can go even faster with that. And another thing is where you can get ideas is with videos. We often go to what we like to call the University of YouTube. There's a lot of good information out there, a lot of ideas. And as you get those, again, have with you your smartphone. Keep your smartphone with you. You might find it very easy to use to put your ideas into an email message. I find that helps a lot. And an email message gives you the ability to send it to yourself. One thing that I found that has become even better is I have a Google Doc devoted to that. I have a Google Doc devoted to ideas for content. And when I get an idea, I jump on the phone with just a couple of taps. I can go over to my Google Doc and have all of my ideas there. The idea I had on this, or when I was reading a book, hey, that's a good idea. Grab the phone, put it in there, and make it work real well for you that way. So you can use that for a lot of different ideas, gathering the information, putting it in there, and be able to have it when you need to sit down and go through it. And then another way you can get ideas, hey, here's one we should not neglect, conversations with real life people. Have those real life people, they can come up with some good ideas now. Yeah, every now and then you get that, and it works real well there. Now, by the way, as you're getting these ideas and stuff, very important here, concept or number F here in this, as in Foxtrot, pay attribution, don't plagiarize. When you get an idea and someone else has given it to you, you read it in a book or so, make sure you attribute it to them. First of all, it's the decent thing to do. Often it's the legal thing to do. And three, it also gives you more credibility that you are someone who does research, not just talking about what you do. This is a vitally important point because too many presenters who I've seen through the years only talk about their own experiences. Listen to how many times the speaker uses the word I versus how many times they cite research and use the word you. You want to hear, I even highlighted this one in yellow, seek out people who cite research and use the word you often. Be careful of those who have what I call I trouble. I did this, I did that. So hang around those kind of people that are going to give you ideas, and then you give them attribution, and be sure and take care of them. You want to hang around those folks here and capture the ideas. I mentioned here the idea from Earl Nightingale, stab those ideas. And I talk about using this right here. Great little tool, and this will be something that will be a good reinforcement for you as well. Oh, and by the way, here's a little way that you can make some get some money on this. Get a $10 credit toward Restream.io if you use this bit.ly, Restream.4u. Notice the number 4 and then u. That'll be good if you want to look at that. Test out their. I recommend try their free program for a while, and then you go in through that. And when you decide, okay, I might try their lower price plan, like I think $20 a month, you would be able to get $10 off of that by using that particular link. Here's another thing, very important on this. I'm going to emphasize this one, bring it out here. Always remain inquisitive and questioning. This is an attitude that helps to foster great content growth, because what you're doing always is saying, gee, I didn't know about that. Oh, asking questions, asking more questions all the time can be extraordinarily good. Because then as you ask those questions, you're going to build up your ROI. And what do I mean by that? In this case, your ROI is build your reservoir of ideas. Have that reservoir of ideas that is going to be able to get the information that you want. You will put it in there, and you have that as a tank that you can go in there. Now, here's some tools that we use here at Dental Nachos that I'm using as well. Loom is a great tool for sending a video email. Sending a video email to someone where you can share your screen or not. You can have you on, for instance, one of the ways I'll use it a lot with Loom, if I get an email from someone and they're asking some questions, say a client is asking for a question, how do I do this? I do a lot of training on video, showing people how to use video and how to use it for more marketing. And I'll answer them with Loom. So it's a video, they know it's me, and I can highlight and get the exact words they said on their email. Works out real well that way. And of course, we're using Zoom. We're using Zoom here at Dental Nachos quite a bit, as many people are today. We've been using it now for 2-3 years here, even before. So we were using Zoom when Zoom wasn't cool. Actually, it was cool, but not many people do about it then. And Big View we use a lot. Matter of fact, with Big View, that's the tool that I'm using when I send out the promos for our Talking Tech Tips with Terry Tuesday at 2. That is Big View, which gives the captions below and the music. It's a great little tool for that. So those are some things that we do, and be sure and check out this, because you'll be able to get this handout here and more, because we've got 3 other videos that accompany this, going in depth on it and what you can do on there. You'll see we've got a lot here. We talk about using Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and bunches of others, all that there. And then a way for you to take that information you have, the content, and send it out in a lot of different places by using a tool called Fan Booster. This is one that I'm using right now. There are many others that are out there that are really good, like Agora Pulse, Meet Edgar, CoScheduler, and Fan Booster is the one I'm using. And you want to look at how you're doing. Look at what's working and what's not working. For instance, one of the things that we know can work very well would be to send out regular messages to those people that are helping you. In dentisting land, of course, that means patients. Being able to have something so that patients would have a way to find out about not only dental issues, but health issues too. And that fosters more camaraderie, fosters much more sense of community and people like that. So those kind of things are going to be there. So what I would recommend is make sure that you start with that. And by the way, here's a handy little tip, that you can start with a lot of content by starting with YouTube. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I'm going to jump over here to my handy dandy fancy smancy thing here for writing this down. If you start with YouTube, with YouTube, you can take the information you've got, and then from there, you can branch out and have all kinds of other options. So for instance, you could have stills pictures. Yeah, still pictures that you would use from a person mentioning something. You could use, for instance, audio from it if you want. Don't you like my handwriting? Aren't I great here? Ooh, yeah, I didn't win any awards in handwriting. You get the idea. The audio that you can take from that. And the audio will give you the ability to create a podcast if you want. Great way to get that information out there as well. And then also, you can take a YouTube and then you can get excerpts. Here's something that's really good. Excerpts I think I spelled it wrong. Yeah, I don't have a spell correcting here on my hand, on the little device that I'm using right here. They don't have those really well here on spell checkers on that. But an excerpt, what I mean by that is you can go in there and let's say you've got an interview with someone or you've done some yourself. Find where there's a golden nugget. It might be on a 30-minute program. There might be something that was said that was really good, say from 18 minutes, 37 seconds over to 20 minutes and 10 seconds. So you grab that particular chunk and put it over here separately on your website. Real handy little tool. That's something that I've been doing and want to do even more with it later. So these ideas here, starting with YouTube, putting them in using still pictures, using audio, using excerpts, just a few of the ways that you can start creating that content and do even more. Well, hey, there's a lot more you can do with it. And remember, you can get this whole report, no charge at all. You just go over and look at it. You'll be able to see where it is. Let me see where I can find that. I've got it not here, but on this one right here. We're looking at all the different tools that we put in. There we are, the dental nachos. And there we go. And right here. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, the content. Get that together. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to use this and be able to go over there and get the videos, be able to get all of this. And you go to bit.ly, Terry Brock, all lowercase, _5K, and even the K is lowercase on that. So we put that in there. You'll get a chance to get that information, get the video as well, and be able to get the content there so you can start creating the content. And this would be something you might want to pass over to others. Share that link with others that could use it. There's no charge for it. And I want to be able to help people as they start creating their content. So a lot of good there. Please leave a comment below. Would love to hear from you on any comments that you have and any ideas that you have on what can be done and how you're using content. And we will look forward to hearing from you on that. On behalf of Dental Nachos, I'm Terry Brock, and we're wishing you the very